Well, guys, it's Saturday afternoon, and I was thinking I might get to go out by the pool this afternoon because the sun was playing peekaboo earlier. But it's 12:30, and look at what's going on here. It's just that time of year in South Florida. Even the weathermen don't know what to expect 1 hour from the next. So who knows? Maybe by 3 o'clock this will have cleared up and I will get some pool time. But right now, it's looking like kitchen time. Even the kitchen's a little gloomy. And we have a skylight that's very noisy during rainstorms. So if I do any filming, it's going to have to do a voiceover, right? It feels kind of cozy in here. Gonna make some good food. Gonna get some chicken curry going for dinner. Tonight I am making curry chicken in the crock pot. That's a dish we haven't had in quite a while, and we all really like it. And of course, curry is fantastic for your health, and it'll allow me to use a lot of things that I need to use up. Starting with these garbanzo beans. They were dried beans that I boiled and put half of them in the freezer, and I will make some homemade falafels with these, which we love, and I'll be able to use a few of those in my lunches this week. And then I have a bunch of carrots that have been rolling around in my fridge for a while, so I can use at least a few of those. And use up the other half of this red pepper and this yellow pepper that's getting a little soft. And then I'll use a chicken breast and some curry sauce, as well as some of this bone broth that I made last weekend. I have found in making this in the past that it works best to put the veggies and the onion in the bottom of the crock pot, then the potatoes, and then the chicken. I'm not sure why, but the chicken seems to cook almost faster than the veggies, and I don't like that to be overdone. So I always end up putting the chicken on top, and then I'll pour the curry sauce over all of it. I'll link the recipe down below, but I have found that the recipe calls for making a little cornstarch slurry and mixing that in with your curry sauce. I found that it works best to remove some of that curry sauce at the end, add the cornstarch, and then stir that back into the crock pot, because if it's a little too thick while things are cooking, I don't think they get done consistently. And also it's hard to gauge how thick the sauce is going to be, because you know, when you cook in a crock pot, things are steaming in there, which creates its own liquid while things are going. So long story short, I put the cornstarch in at the end. Alright, so this is all going to go in the crock pot in order that I have it. So this is going to start on the bottom of the pot and work my way up based on how fast things cook. And now this is going in the crock pot. So I'm using 2 cups of the chicken bone broth that I made last week. I always use a ton of the curry. I'm not even going to measure this other than to see how much I'm pouring. I'm going to use probably the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of curry. The only thing I don't like about cooking with curry is it stains, so if you get a spill on your counter, you want to wipe that up right away. A teaspoon of salt, about a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of cumin, about a teaspoon of black pepper, a lot of garlic, about 4 cloves. I like it to taste very garlicky. Pour it over my chicken and veggies in the crock pot, put the lid on, and let it do its thing. Alright, so we're moving on to making the falafels. And I'm going to start with grinding up some of these chickpeas. I like to do about 1 cup at a time because I have a little food processor. I have found from experience that the best way to grind these chickpeas up is to do it with the chickpeas by themselves. The recipe says to put in the onion, cilantro, yada in there too, but to me, the best way to get your falafels to turn out with the perfect consistency is to grind your chickpeas up to where they're the consistency of sand, which I know doesn't sound very appetizing, but I've got my sandiness going here. And then I'm gonna do the rest of this bag and putting that all in the bowl. Then I will grind the onion, etc., and just stir it all up in the bowl. So I'm using half an onion, and the recipe calls for half a cup of cilantro, so this is another use it up. I sure wish I could get cilantro to grow in my backyard. I am just not having very good luck with it in this Florida heat. This recipe also calls for a half cup of fresh dill. We like to use tzatziki sauce that is dill and cucumber flavored. So I'm not going to add dill to my falafels, but I am going to add the various seasonings, one of which is 3 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of cumin, so I'm doing 1. It calls for a teaspoon of cardamom, which I managed to snag on clearance at Publix a while back. If you saw my haul, this was really a good find. A teaspoon of baking soda, a tablespoon of flour to help keep everything together. So I'm going to give this all a stir. And you're supposed to put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes before you form it into the balls and cook in the frying oil. So I am going to put this into a smaller container and throw it in the fridge. My curry won't be done for 3.5 hours. So this will have plenty of time to chill in the fridge, and then we'll get to frying these up later. Now I'm out in the pool, you guys. I can't believe it, but the weather cleared up, and look at that. If you can tell on camera, it's almost 90 degrees in the water. Perfect. Mostly blue skies, crazy Florida weather, that's for sure. I say mostly because if you can look over here, it's not looking too good. I can't tell if it's coming or going. But I'm heading back inside to cook some more. Here's the finished curry. The flavor is terrific. Got some basic rice, the falafels, and the naan bread, as well as the tzatziki sauce. So we are ready to eat. I was at Hobby Lobby in the checkout line a couple weeks ago and spotted these Reese's Pieces, so I decided to make the double chocolate cookies that I pick up at Aldi sometimes, and that's like $6 a package, so why not spend $2 and get twice as many? Look at those balls of deliciousness. Can't wait. These cookies turned out just way too good, you guys. They are delicious. I'll link the recipe down below in case you're interested. We've made it to Sunday morning, and I'm doing some more Use It Up. These are German potatoes that I bought in this bag at Aldi, gosh, at least 6 months ago. They smell so good, so funny. The girls kept walking through, talking about how great they smelled, making the last of a package of bacon and some toast to go with it for the girls. Here's the finished breakfast, and that wraps up the weekend of cooking. Thanks for watching.